Hi, I'm Tom Pirard, performer, educator and creator of The Modern Beat. And today I'm going to show you the quick way to take your speed on the drums to that next level that you've always wanted. What I'm going to show you are some very special techniques that have allowed many great drummers around the world and myself to unlock that top gear that all of us have. And the great thing about it is that it's just so easy, anyone can do it. I'm also going to talk briefly about why I think developing speed on the drum set is important. Now I know the temptation is there to skip this video through to the parts where we're doing the exercises, so don't worry, that's coming right up. But I think you should hear what I have to say for the next couple of minutes because I want you to know that I've been where you may be right now. And that's a place where you feel like you've plateaued with your drumming and you just can't see the results of all the hard work you've been putting in. When I was beginning my career as a drummer, I was young, high school age in fact. I was one of those guys who picked things up pretty quick. I started with your standard piano lessons before picking up the sticks at age 13. Now at the time I'd just begun listening to rock music and I was finding myself in those kinds of musical situations where my best just wasn't quite good enough. Slow and simple I could do just fine, but when it came to soloing or playing something a little faster, my arms and hands just wouldn't do what I told them to do. And what should have been a tight and fast drum groove would come out sounding sloppy and inconsistent. And even worse, I couldn't keep it up because my arms and wrists either locked up or just turned to jelly. Now the reason developing speed on the drum set is so important is because you can't really play fast without good technique. And so therefore when we practice speed, we're also practicing correct technique. It's important to view speed as an element of your practice rather than your main focus. We start each practice session with a mental capacity for learning and development. Don't let the quest for speed take up all your learning capacity when you practice. If this happens, you run the risk of being a one-dimensional player. Now you may have noticed that there are only a few musical niches where a certain level of speed is basically a requirement, such as death metal or drum and bass. But bear in mind that it's the players who blend speed with other elements such as independence or creativity who really stand out from the rest. Some of the names you may want to check out are Dave Lombardo, original drummer from Slayer, George Colliers from Nile, KJ Sawker from Pendulum, John Longstreth from Origin, and of course we can't forget the jazz greats such as Gene Krupa and the incredible Buddy Rich. Now the great thing about all these guys is that they stand out not just for their speed, which is on an almost inhuman level, but also for their own unique approach to using the drum set musically. So, bearing this all in mind, let's talk about the quickest, most effective ways of building speed on the drum set and how you can incorporate it into your playing while keeping your part tasteful and still serving the music, which is the most important thing. Now, in terms of single stroke 16th notes, that is right, left, etc., I know that if I had to play them consistently for about 10 seconds, my top cold speed, that is without being warmed up, would be about 220 BPM. So 4 individual alternating strokes per beat. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a. We're going to look at 3 of my favorite exercises that help build my resting level of speed to where it is. They're also what I use to warm up so that I can play comfortably at tempos of 240 BPM plus. Before we get into these lessons, we need to remember to warm up. Everyone has their own routine for this, but mine includes this simple stretch. So if you pause it. We want to take our sticks like this, both facing in different directions, both palms face up, close the palms, and we just, with our left thumb first, pull it towards us, and in front, we bring our right arm over, and if you pull this back a little bit, you should just start to feel it stretching that left wrist. Okay? Don't go too far. You don't want to break anything or ruin your wrists. After you've done that for about a good sort of 10 seconds of stretching that gently, close the palm again, roll this left hand back over, and you'll find yourself back in the start position. Okay, we'll do the same thing with the right hand now. Close the palm, roll the right hand towards you, palm facing down and through, and the same thing. So give that about another 10 seconds, and then slowly back to the start. Then you can shake it out like that. So this is one that I use every time before I play. Gets your wrists feeling nice and warm, stretched up before you start doing some of the fast stuff. Now, the other important thing to remember is that speed on the drums relies heavily on correct technique, not strength or volume. If you could feel that you're tense in any way, you need to stop and reevaluate one of a few things. Now, they could be snare height. For example, I like to have mine pretty high so I can do a comfortable rim shot. You want it to be above your knees so that when you do a rim shot, you're not hitting the butt of the stick on your thigh. Okay, that's quite important. But generally, you want it to be the higher the better. You don't want to be reaching down between your legs to hit the snare drum, okay? But just experiment, find a height that's good for you. So the second thing you want to watch is snare symmetry. Now, by snare symmetry, I mean that when you're looking down on them from above, they're making a triangle and they're from the center line making the same shape. Now we want to be making not quite a right angle triangle like this. Now this is using this American grip, what's called American grip these days. Not quite German grip, which is a right angle with your palms facing down, or French grip, which is your sticks parallel, which is commonly used for timpani, stuff like that. Okay, so the third thing you want to take into account is how you're holding your sticks. Now there's a lot of great material online for you to check out your own technique against that of more experienced players. The general gist is that with the technique most professional drum set players use, the back fingers are doing the holding and cradling of the stick. The front fingers are doing the guiding of the stick, okay? So by that I mean the back fingers are around it and your thumb and your forefinger are gently pinching it. Tip of the thumb, middle section of the forefinger, okay? Just like this. Shouldn't be too tense. The thing is, if you feel tense here, it means that you're gripping it. You're doing the gripping with your forefinger and your thumb, and that's what you really want to avoid. That's the role of the back fingers. So a general rule that one of my teachers told me that I've sort of always stuck with is try to always have a little bit of a gap between your thumb and your forefinger, okay? That's going to mean that you stop tensing that part unnecessarily. It's going to stop your arm from locking up and doing that jelly thing I was talking about before. Now, this first exercise, I like to call the Buddy Rich 3-stroke mauler. Now, he wasn't the first person to do it. It's just that you tend to see it in his playing quite a lot in his solos and that kind of thing. What it consists of is a 3-stroke mauler technique with each hand playing alternating strokes. Now, with one hand, a 3-stroke mauler sounds like this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, the mauler technique means that we're trying to play those second two notes on the upstroke. Okay, the first stroke, the big arc. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's mauler technique. So generally you see players using a 2-stroke mauler technique, which looks like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. This one's different. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Make sure you really bring that wrist into play. Now when we do it at faster speeds, the movement is of course smaller. That becomes that pumping action that you see drummers doing with their wrists when they're using the mauler technique at high speeds. Now generally you'll see this in jazz solos and things like that. This is a pretty common thing you'll see with early big band players. Buddy Rich, like I said, Gene Krupa, Lou Belson, all those guys. Now, we're going to have to play it with both hands. Right hand, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. After you've given that a little go, try the left hand. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, the special thing about this one is that we're playing them together and alternating. What it sounds like is this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so to play this exercise, I'm going to take the practice pad off and play it on the snare drum. Now, the important thing about this exercise is that we do keep the 3-stroke mauler going the whole way through. It's going to mean that it's going to be difficult when we get a bit faster to keep that left hand accented. So this is a mistake which you want to catch yourself on as soon as you start making it. Once you start getting to a certain speed, keep making sure that that left-hand accent is there. Should sound like this. 1, 2, 3. Okay, if you're forgetting to play that left-hand accent, it'll sound like this. 1, 2, 3. Now the great thing about this is that when you start getting a bit faster, the molar technique means that you're pumping with your wrists, and that it's going to mean economy, more economy within your playing. So you're going to be playing 2 loud strokes, 4 strokes, as you're traveling up with your wrists. Down, down, up, 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 down, down, up, 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 down, down. Okay, that's the molar technique. That's what makes this one sound so cool. Now let's check it out at a faster tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's try that faster again. See how we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you're using the correct technique, you should be able to keep this up for quite a while. Obviously, don't try and play that fast the first time you start working on it. Just go to about half that speed, start your practice nice and slow, get up to where it's starting to fall apart, and then just ease it back a little bit. If you practice this each day, you will find that your speed will increase incredibly quickly over a period of 2 weeks. Just keep at it, start nice and slow, make sure you're doing the right thing, and you'll get some great results. Okay, now this next exercise I call straight notes to triplets. Now you need a metronome for this one, and all we're basically doing is practicing going from 2 bars at 8th notes, okay? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 2 and 3 and 4 and to another 2 bars triplets. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 2 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, and then we go back to 8th notes. 8th notes, triplets, 8th notes, triplets. Now the reason this one is so good is because you're having to think about subdividing so much with your triplets and with your 8th notes, is that you're not having to focus on the speed so much. So this is kind of a good way of improving your time and your subdivision and improving your speed without knowing. Okay, make sure that you keep these nice and light. Make sure that you keep absolutely metronomic, so that you're 100% in time. Be really hard on yourself. And again, as with the last one, you start bumping it up by about 10 clicks every time on the metronome while you're practicing. Just make sure that if you're having trouble with it and you're crushing the end of the triplets because it's getting too fast, think about getting to the end of the phrase. Okay, that's something that I think about that's helped me. Okay. Okay, like don't increase your volume, but think about the downbeat of the next bar. I think in your head, if you're mentally going towards that finish line of the 1 of the next bar, you'll stop yourself from tripping up just beforehand. You might like to think of it as, a good analogy would be a runner going towards the finish line, and the last 20 feet or so, you're just having to give it everything you've got to get there. Okay, think of it like that. Everything's going towards the downbeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. See how you go with this one. And like I said, it'll improve your time playing with the metronome, it'll improve your subdivision, and hopefully without you noticing too much, it'll improve your speed. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now for exercise 3, this is something I like to call the 2-bar pattern deconstruction. This is where we take a short rhythmic phrase and we deconstruct it by separating the right hand part and the left hand part. Now for this demonstration, we'll take 1 bar of 8th notes and 1 bar of 16th notes. Okay, this is what it sounds like at a faster speed. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now if I played that for a student, they would almost always say, whoa, stop. I actually can't physically play that fast. So this is where the challenge is. You take your right hand part out of that, all of a sudden it sounds a lot easier. Well, it's half the speed, but technically it's the same thing. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the reason I said it was the same thing is because both hands are playing that exact same pattern. Okay? Now that is a pattern that I can almost guarantee people who aren't drummers will be able to play after about 10 minutes of just practicing it. Let's try it with the left hand. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now make sure that you're playing to a metronome, make sure that you relax. If you're relaxing, it's going to really help things. And also make sure that you're leading into that downbeat of the next bar, okay? That'll help you as well, like what I was talking about in the previous exercise. So, once you've got that happening with each hand, it's just a matter of putting the two together, okay? What first sounded way too hard to do, you now know that you can do physically because you've practiced each part on their own. It's just a matter of putting them together. We take the two parts, we play them together, so both hands are playing the exact same thing, it's just that they're alternating. Let's see the pattern again with each part taken out and then together. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there we have it. 3 exercises which when practiced routinely will help you develop speed further than you've ever been able to accomplish before. Keep an eye out for the next piece of great content I can't wait to share with you, which I'll be sending to you soon, along with a full transcription of this lesson in PDF form. See you soon. Congratulations on making it through the first lesson. You've actually taken a really big step because most people never really make it this far. They just want their drum set playing to improve without ever really doing anything about it. Now, the fact that you're still watching this tells me you're a dedicated person. Dedicated in 2 ways. Number 1, you're dedicated to improving your drum set playing, which is awesome. And number 2, that you can really stick to things, which most people simply can't. Now I'm going to play a video for you which demonstrates the full power of my Modern Beat full course and how it can improve your drum set playing skills faster than you ever thought possible. If you enjoyed this lesson, you're going to love this. Hey everybody, Tom Perrard here, and today's the day you're going to change the way you play drums forever. You're going to be able to fill effortlessly around the drum set, play faster and more accurately than you ever have before. You're going to master music theory. You're going to be able to go into any musical situation and know exactly what to play. And you're also going to be able to finally nail all those hard songs and drum parts you've been wanting to ace for so long. I've had some incredible opportunities from playing the drums, like performing in some of the most amazing international venues and theatres. Getting to play in front of thousands of people, playing a huge variety of styles at a professional level. Recording CDs in amazing studios and meeting hundreds of incredible musicians and teachers along the way. I want to really thank you for checking out my lessons for the last few days. I hope you've learned a thing or two and really noticed some awesome improvement with your playing. So, now that you have a good idea of what I can offer in terms of expertise on the drums, I'd like to share something really special with you. It's something I've been working on for the last 2 years. It's called the Modern Beat Full Course. The Modern Beat Full Course is a complete course in drum set playing, which is the culmination of years of performing professionally and teaching across a huge range of age and abilities. Now, this course is special in so many ways, but my favorite thing about it is that if you learn by watching, listening, reading, doing, or all of these things, then this course is for you, because every exercise is demonstrated in full HD video and all notation and reading material is fully downloadable in PDF form. The Modern Beat Full Course starts with the basics like correct snare technique, stick technique, posture and drum setup, to basic exercises in note reading, speed and rudiment practice, classic grooves to get you jamming live, and advanced methods for when you want to take your playing to that next level. The downloadable Modern Beat exercise booklet is 5 chapters long with a comprehensive introduction, complete with diagrams and a full guide to reading notation. Simply use the PDF reader available on the lesson page or download the PDF and print it for your own hard copy. The course also gives you access to the full range of playthrough tracks. These cover a range of styles such as jazz, blues, Latin, rock and funk, and include a full video demonstration and streamable drumless version with or without a click track. These tracks are also downloadable as MP3s and are regularly updated, so you can keep your own drum vocabulary sounding fresh and well rehearsed before playing live, going into the studio, or just having a jam with some other musicians. So, how much would you expect to pay for this course? For an hour-long one-to-one lesson with me, you would pay $60 US an hour. Now, in that amount of time, we'd probably cover maximum 20% of a chapter of this course. Don't forget that this course is different from other drum set course books because you can learn at your own pace. Each exercise is explained thoroughly using terminology you can understand, and you can clearly see how each exercise is meant to look thanks to the multi-angle high-definition video demonstrations. You also have the option of printing a hard copy of the course book or viewing it online in your preferred browser. Let's take a closer look at exactly what you're getting when you purchase with the special offer I'm bringing to you today. Over 2 hours of video lessons and demonstrations covering technique fundamentals, rudiments, developing speed, classic styles and advanced concepts. Downloadable MP3 play-along tracks and different styles which are regularly updated and fully streamable. The full Modern Beat course exercise booklet with accompanying introduction and notation reading guide. Full 24-hour, 7-day access to the online course with your own personal login. What's more, when you become a Modern Beat customer, you also get my own personal promise that the course will be the best learning tool that you've ever used for drum set. I'm so confident you'll feel the same way that this product comes with a 60-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied with the Modern Beat full course, I'm willing to give you a full, no questions asked refund within 60 days of purchase. You will learn to use the same theory methods that drummers like Steve Gadd, Buddy Rich, Neil Peart and John Bonham used or are still using every day, and how to apply this to your own drum set playing. You are not just going to be getting results, you are going to be getting massive results. So what would you pay for an awesome resource like this? $200? $300? $500? It's worth it. Today, I'm willing to offer you this amazing discounted price of only $47. That's right, just one payment of $47 is all you'll have to pay for lifetime access to the Modern Beat full course and accompanying playthrough videos. So here's what I want you to do. Click the Add to Cart button below and you'll be taken to our secure checkout page on clickbank.com. This thing is locked down and your credit card information is not going anywhere. After you complete the process, you'll be taken to a thank you page that will tell you to check your email. In that email, you will have the link to the members area as well as your login information. And you'll be good to go. That's it. Just click the Add to Cart button below to make your purchase and receive instant access to this incredible learning tool so you can take the first steps to becoming the drummer and musician you've always wanted to be. Let me be your personal teacher at your convenience. Don't just think about how cool it will be to get better. Click Add to Cart now, join the Modern Beat family of satisfied customers today, and I'll see you in the members area.